All right, we're starting out by writing the 7th and 8th commandments, and then what does this mean? As much as you're able to do, just want to see where you're at. So go ahead. And so Max and Kaylin, you're going to type the 7th and 8th commandments, and then what does this mean into the chat. Just curious how well you've learned them so far. Hey Christian, how's it going? Can you hear okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna type the 7th and 8th commandments into the chat, and plus the what does this mean. So that was the homework for today. Just want to see where everyone's at. So go ahead and do that right now. We'll take 5 minutes. If you don't mind, just write down as many commandments as you can. That's okay. Start the first one. Yes. Yeah, I have an extra sheet over. So write down 7 and 8 commandments plus what does this mean? If you don't know that, just write the commandments in order. Practice. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the worksheet for you. Yep.
No, I'll watch. When it first came out, I was like 6 and I wanted to watch it. Because
Just gauging speed. Not really reading. Awesome. I'll give anyone the opportunity to go outside and say it out loud if they prefer that instead of writing. Okay.
Can I ask you something on the cameras? To see if I know which one's better?
I'll grab you. So this should be from memory, Caitlin. Done? Perfect. We'll spend like 3 more minutes, okay? And you might not be able to finish it all, that's okay. We'll just see where you're at, so 3 more minutes. Once we hit 7:10, we'll be done. Another minute and a half. Hey. We'll be on lesson 24 tonight. All right, so go ahead and wind down, put your names on the top. However many sheets are up. And we'll just see where you're at. Thank you for your work. I appreciate it. Okay. You want me to pass out sheets then, maybe? One of these does belong too much. Okay, you didn't finish that. I know, I kind of put a time crunch on so we can make sure we start fast. Thank you for your efforts. Okay, as far as no worries. Just seeing where we're at. I know there's a lot of, I didn't give a ton of time for this. It's okay. All right, submit wherever you're at online, submit where you are, please. So Kaylin, just whatever you've typed so far, or Oh, no, everyone has. Okay, awesome. Great. Okay, so Gabe Herman is passing out some sheets right now. It's an updated confirmation schedule and sermon notes. I sent your parents an email. We're going to have class on January 29th, which is next Wednesday. Normally we'd have off.
One more of the small sheets.
Okay, well, you'll be here on Sunday, so you can grab sermon notes in the back. So we'll have class next Wednesday night as well. We're a lesson behind, so that's how we're going to catch up. So instead of coming to youth group, we'll have confirmation next week again. So remind your parents about that, confirmation next Wednesday. And then I also gave you a sermon note sheet. So we all need to do more sermon notes, okay? We are behind on that one. Sela? Have you given them to me? Okay, yeah, bring whatever you've done so far too, just so that I have it then. Okay, yeah, so we'll do sermon notes on Sunday. And I guess if you're watching at home, now you've got a sheet, so you can do sermon notes at home while you watch as well. So we're supposed to have 10 done at the end of the year, and there's not a lot of time left. So we gotta get to working on sermon notes. It's not too hard. You just write down some of the simple things from the sermon. Okay, any questions? We're good? All right, awesome. Thanks for your work on the commandments. We're gonna keep learning those and study those, okay? Let's go through all 10 of the commandments. Who can give me the first commandment? Not the what does this mean, just give me the commandment. And people online, Christian, go ahead, first commandment.
That we should love nobody else but God.
So you shall have no other gods. Yeah, you're a little muffled, that's okay. Second commandment. Your God. Yep. Very nice. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Third commandment, Max.
You shall honor the Sabbath day by keeping it holy.
That's the right idea. What are the proper words, the full verbiage, the way you say it? Yeah, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Very nice. You both have the idea down. Fourth commandment. Sela? Honor your father and mother. That. Just honor your father and mother. That. It's the one that's kind of long. Gabe Herman to the rescue.
You shall honor your father and mother, that I may go well with you, that you may live long life.
Okay, very nice. Fifth commandment. Fifth commandment.
Wait, is the sixth one? Right now?
Fifth.
Oh, yeah, honor. You just said it.
So remember the first three commandments, our relationship with God.
Yes, all the first three are our relationship with God, and the others are how we should treat each other.
Yep. So the first one, honor your parents.
Honor your parents.
Second one,
Honor,
something that you don't do.
don't lie.
That's a good thing to not do. Don't. You shall not, one word.
Shall not murder.
Yeah, you shall not murder. You said it earlier, yep. Okay, so that's another thing you shouldn't do. Sixth commandment, Sela. Yeah, and what's adultery?
Cheating on wife.
Or having sex with anyone that isn't your wife. Yep, or even thinking about thoughts of having sex with someone who isn't your, husband or wife, your spouse. Okay, seventh commandment.
You shall not steal.
Very nice. Eighth commandment. Gabe?
Not give testimony against your neighbor.
You should not give, what kind of testimony against your neighbor?
Don't.
Don't talk evidence.
No. You said you shall not give testimony. There's a word that, there's a close false testimony.
False testimony, I knew that.
All right, so that's how far we are in the commandments. Very nice. And those 7th and 8th commandments, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And the next time we'll talk about the 9th and 10th, which are both about coveting, which is wanting something that God doesn't want you to have, but we'll get there. All right, lesson 24. We are on page 129 of the workbook. Very nice. And we are going to, if you don't have a Bible, grab a Bible, open up to 1 Kings 21. And we got to kind of fly tonight. We got to get through 2 commandments. We don't have a ton of time.
1 Kings
21. Page 508 of this Bible. 508 if you got a Bible in the back. 1 Kings 21, 1 through 19. Put your finger on your feet when you're there. Have to change it up a little bit. Do you have a Bible, Aiden? Great, you do. Okay. Oh, okay. Can't see it through the table. Seal is there. Okay, I'll read this out loud for us. So listen and follow along as I read. Okay. Sometime later, there was an incident involving a vineyard belonging to Naboth the Jezreelite. The vineyard was in Jezreel, close to the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. Ahab said to Naboth, "Let me have your vineyard to use for a vegetable garden, since it is close to my palace. In exchange, I will give you a better vineyard, or if you prefer, I will pay you whatever it is worth." But Naboth replied, "The Lord forbid that I should give you the inheritance of my ancestors." So Ahab went home sullen and angry because Naboth the Jezreelite had said, "I will not give you the inheritance of my ancestors." He lay in his bed, sulking and refusing to eat. His wife Jezebel came in and asked him, "Why are you so sullen? Why won't you eat?" Follow along as we're reading, please. He answered her, "Because I said to Naboth the Jezreelite, 'Sell me your vineyard, or if you prefer, I will give you another vineyard in its place.' But he said, 'I will not give you my vineyard.' Jezebel, his wife, said, 'Is this how you act as king over Israel? Get up and eat. Cheer up. I'll get you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.' So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, placed his seal on them, and sent them to the elders and nobles who lived in Naboth's city with him. In those letters she wrote, 'Proclaim a day of fasting and seat Naboth in a prominent place among the people. But seat 2 scoundrels opposite him and have them bring charges that he has cursed both God and the king. Then take him out and stone him to death.' So the elders and nobles who lived in Naboth's city did as Jezebel directed in the letters she had written to them. They proclaimed a fast and seated Naboth in a prominent place among the people. Then 2 scoundrels came and sat opposite him and brought charges against Naboth before the people, saying, 'Naboth has cursed God and the king.' So they took him outside the city and stoned him to death. Then they sent word to Jezebel, 'Naboth has been stoned to death.' As soon as Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned to death, she said to Ahab, 'Get up and take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite that refused to sell to you. He is no longer alive but dead.' When Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, he got up and went down to take possession of Naboth's vineyard. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, 'Go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, who lives in Samaria. He is now in Naboth's vineyard, where he has gone to take possession of it. Say to him, this is what the Lord says. Have you not murdered a man and seized his property? Then say to him, this is what the Lord says. In the place where your dogs licked up Naboth's blood, dogs will lick up your blood. Yes, yours.'" All right. Very intense story. All right, question number 1. Ahab, king of Israel, noticed that a man named Naboth who lived nearby had a nice vineyard. Ahab wanted it for a vegetable garden, so he talked to Naboth about purchasing it. What did King Ahab offer for it?
He offered, what was it, some, I guess a person, or maybe, he offered a garden, he wanted a garden. It's I can't,
Yeah, so Naboth has this vineyard, and Ahab wants to, what was that? You want to phone a friend on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. Gabe Emerson?
He offered him a better vineyard than his one.
Yeah, a better vineyard, or he'd buy it off of him, right? So, better vineyard. So you can write down. You don't have to write the whole thing, just write like better vineyard, so you know the idea. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. All right. So we're on page 129, Gabe?
Yes.
Okay, 129, number 1. A better vineyard. And if you don't get it right away, that's okay. Remember, these are online, so you can always go back and watch them if you need the answer. Or email me. Why did Naboth turn down the king's offer? Verse 3. Aiden? Yeah. In Israel, once you got a piece of land, God wanted you to keep it forever. He didn't want your family to sell it. So he said God didn't want him to sell it. So number 1 was a better vineyard. Number 2, God said no. All right. Queen Jezebel schemed to get the vineyard for her husband. Why do you think she and Ahab not only stole the vineyard, but killed Naboth in the process? Gabe?
Because that would be easier and also we're wicked. So they decided to, I guess.
Yeah, they wanted to get rid of Naboth so they could take his vineyard without interference. Or like you said, they were wicked, so this is what we should expect. Yeah, they were wicked. This is a pretty self-explanatory one. I wouldn't worry too much about writing it all down. I think you get the idea. How did Ahab's sinful desire for something, that's coveting, we'll learn about that on Sunday, lead to him and Jezebel further sins? So he sees a vineyard, he wants the vineyard. And if Naboth would have said, sure, I'll sell you the vineyard, it would have been fine. But Naboth says, nope. What are the further sins that he commits? Gabe?
Murder and stealing.
Yep, murder and stealing. Which commandment is the commandment about not murdering? Selah? 5th, very nice. How about the one about not stealing? Selah? 7, very nice. So they break 1st commandment by not honoring God, and they break the 5th commandment by murdering, they break the 7th commandment by stealing, and they broke the 9th and 10th commandment by coveting what wasn't theirs. Okay. Jezebel also broke the 8th commandment. We are really going on a run of sin, which is not something you want to do. We'll cover that later in this lesson by discredited. So she discredited Naboth and ruined his reputation. Why would she do that rather than just kill him? Gabe?
It would be easier to like just say you'll murder this person for no reason. They discredit him first and then have him killed because of your reputation.
Yeah. It was so that she looked better, so that King Ahab looked better. Because if they thought, oh, Naboth is a bad guy, which he wasn't, he was a God-fearing guy. I think we'll be more on board with it. Yeah, exactly, Kalen. So he couldn't sell anything, no one would want it. Yeah, that's why he killed him, so that he could just take it. Okay, number 6. What was God's response? You can summarize. Okay.
Because, well, his response was to, I don't know, like, let me think, tell Elijah to go tell Jezebel that they did wrong and that they were in that.
Ahab would die. Yep. Let's see. Ethan, will you read this passage out loud for us? It's on the screen. It's from 1 Timothy 6.
But God
Godliness.
his contentment is great grain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that.
Awesome, very nice. What should our attitude be towards the things that we have? Gabe?
Grateful.
Grateful, yeah. Absolutely. We should be content. Everything we have is really from God. We don't really have anything that we've earned or gained. It's all these blessings that we have are from God. Okay, that gets to a key term, contentment. Being satisfied with what God has given and not always wanting more. You can write that one down in the definition box. Being satisfied with what God has given and not always wanting more. Being satisfied with what God has given and not always wanting more. Oh, good. These definitions are also in the back of the catechism. So you can write them down. Okay. In Martin Luther's explanation to the 7th commandment, he helps us understand how we should view the things that we have. When we look at the gifts that God has given to other people, we want to help him to improve and protect his property and means of income. Let's see here. Gabe Amerson, will you please read the passage out loud for us?
22 or 8.
Both of them, 22 and 23.
Oh, I thought you were talking.
Oh, sorry, that one.
Slaves obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eyes are on you to curry their favor, but when sincerity of heart and
Reverence
of the Lord. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters.
Yeah, so currying favor so that someone else likes you, sincerity of heart, doing something for the right reason, reverence, holding someone in high regard. Okay, as a worker, how can we do that? I don't know if do any of you have a job? Raise your hand if you have a job. Kinda? Medium job?
I mean,
Yeah. Okay, Lillian brought up. Okay, so you have your chores that you do at home. Yeah, that's like working a job. As a worker, how can we show what this passage talks about? Sheila, whatever you're going to say, go for it.
But it's basically having to like being determined to do it, and also like doing our absolute best to do it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, do our best, be determined. Yeah, Lillian.
not like you would just to help that person or help somebody instead of wanting something for them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Helping them.
Yeah, not just doing something to get something from someone else. Yeah. Christian said his job is living. Very nice. Yep, right now that is your job. Going to school, that's part of your job as well. So basically, you know, what Silas said, you know, do it well with your heart. And you don't always have to write down the full definition. As long as you know what we're talking about, you're good. Okay, let's see. Sheila, will you read Proverbs 11:25, please?
A generous person will prosper, whoever pressures others will be first. No one should speak their own good, but the good of others.
Okay, took them both. Nice. How can we help people with the gifts that we've been given? Gabe?
Give gifts to them.
Okay, yeah, be generous, give other people gifts. Yeah, giving gifts to others, Caitlin, nice. Ultimately, think about someone else instead of thinking about yourself. It's like it's an attitude, a mindset. How can we help other people? You could write down helping others or something. Yeah, Christian said helping them. Yep. Okay, let's keep going. We've been asking this question about most of the commandments. How does the seventh commandment serve as a mirror? Gabe.
To reflect on what you did. To what? Wait, no. To see the sin that you have. Well,
Yep, that's the law as a mirror. Now, how does the law work as a mirror in the seventh commandment?
You see what you did wrong?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Sure. It just shows us that we haven't been content, right? We've wanted things that aren't ours. We've been jealous. We've thought, I don't have enough. I think this one is self-explanatory. This doesn't get, so you can just put your writing utensils down. Yeah, this doesn't get any easier the older you get. You'll still be tempted to want more, to not help others as you should, to think about yourself. I don't think that ever goes away. I think it's something that's important to think about when you're young too. School is difficult, and sometimes the people in school are particularly difficult. But our goal is to think what's best for the other person, even if that doesn't wind up being what's best for us. So I challenge you to think about that as you're going through school. Thoughts? Questions? Or is school a breeze now? Maybe I missed something. Is school easy?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I hate it.
Okay, we'll watch the strong language about it. All right, how did Jesus keep the seventh commandment in our place? Through his active obedience What is Jesus' act of obedience? Sela? That is his state of humiliation, which is different. This is active obedience. Gabe? That's his passive obedience.
Okay, then staying under the law.
Yep, and how does he do that with the seventh commandment?
Not doing it. I mean, he's doing it, like, I don't know.
Okay, he is always helping us, Christian. He's always content, right?
Yeah.
He never steals. He never stole anything. He was generous with his time, with his money. He was always content. So remember, write this down real quick and then we'll talk. Choose active and passive obedience again. Good. Everyone stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Let's review Jesus' active obedience. What is Jesus' active obedience? It's Jesus. Jesus does what?
He died for sins.
That's his he did do that. That's his passive obedience.
His active obedience instead.
Active obedience. He kept the law in our place, right? So every single day I get the choice. Do I want to honor God, keep him number one? Do I want to steal Gabe's Bible? Do I want to say a mean thing to Ethan? Do I want to? And Jesus, he kept all those laws perfectly. That's his active obedience, is what he was doing. Passive obedience is sacrifice. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So he was always content. Sit back down. Let's keep going. All right, we already kind of answered this. How did Jesus solve our continued breaking of the seventh commandment? Through his passive obedience. You can all say it on three. 1, 2, 3. He died on the cross. There we go. So he died to forgive us. You know this one. And this commandment, you don't even have to write that one down. You know that in your heart. Number 13. The law is a guide. This is how it directs our life. We thank God for being content with what we have and by helping others protect their property. But I think you can see how it works. Okay, any questions so far? Whoa, before we go on to the next commandment. All right. And this chart might make an appearance. This chart might make an appearance on the test. We'll see come review time what I'm feeling.
Like 3.
On the 30th.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Oh, I think I mistold you the date. We have class next week, which is the 26th, not the 29th. 26th. Okay, let's go on to the 8th commandment then. What is the 8th commandment? Sheila? All right, very nice. Does anyone want to do the what does this mean for us? Or should I just correct your Go for it, Gabe.
We should fear the Lord God that we do not tell lies about our neighbor. Oh wait, this is okay, whatever. That we do not tell lies about our neighbor. Betray them or give them problem by
Give them
a bad name, but to help them, but to defend them and
defend them
and take their words, speak well of them and take their words and actions in the kindest way possible.
Kindest possible way, very nice. All right, let's open up to 2 Samuel 15, 1 through 6. So You're close, just go backwards a little bit. Go from your current place towards the start of the Bible.
2 Samuel 15.
Yeah. So Lillian, go this direction. Yep.
I'm there.
Put your thumb on your back of your head. I'll think of something funny one of these days. No promises though. All right, I'll read this one out loud for us. Samuel said to Saul, I am the one the Lord sent to anoint you king over his people Israel. So listen now to the message from the Lord. Samuel is talking to David. This is what the Lord says. Oh, nope, I'm in the wrong spot. Whoops. Different king. Okay, this is Absalom. This is about David. In the course of time, Absalom proved himself. I'm struggling to read. I'm sorry. Absalom provided himself with a chariot and horses, and with 50 men to run ahead of him. He would get up early and stand by the side of the road leading to the city gate. Whenever anyone came with a complaint to be placed before the king for decision, Absalom would call out to him, What town are you from? He would answer, Your servant is from one of the tribes of Israel. Then Absalom would say to him, Look, your claims are valid and proper, but there is no representative of the king to hear you. And Absalom would add, If only I were appointed judge of the land, then everyone who has a complaint or case could come to me and would see that they received justice. Also, whenever anyone approached him to bow down before him, Absalom would reach out his hand and take hold of him and kiss him. Absalom behaved in this way towards all the Israelites who came to the king asking for justice, and so he stole the hearts of the people of Israel. When it says kiss him, it's not like what you're thinking. It's like, that's just how they greeted each other.
Like French kissing?
Like, yes, when you go to France, sometimes people will,
Yeah.
it's just a friendly gesture. You might do it with someone you don't even know, because that's just part of their culture. It's not weird or Sixth Commandment focused. Okay. I don't know how else to say that. Okay, how did Absalom seek to steal the hearts of the people of Israel away from God's representative, his father, King David? What were some of the things he did? Few things. What did he do? Okay, well, Aiden, go ahead, give us one of the things.
He kissed their hand.
All right, so he would greet them kindly when they came to him. I'll just put this up. Okay. Basically, he did a bunch of things, right? He was really nice. He said, if I was king, I'd hear your case. He was kind of being deceptive. But he basically said, if I'm king, I'll be better. And remember, this is Israel. So in Israel, God decided who would be king. You'd get anointed by a prophet. So David is anointed by Samuel. That's how he knows he's king, right? Mm-hmm. Absalom is trying to steal the throne. Okay. Absalom very subtly ruined David's reputation and good name. How did he do that? This one's a little more complicated. Would it be on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being I totally understand what's happening in this story, 1 being I'm not really sure what's going on, how comfortable do you feel? Because maybe it'd be easier if I just kind of explained what happened. A lot of 3-ish. Okay, maybe it'll be helpful. So I'm gonna kind of skim through a few of these questions in a row. So Absalom is not the king. He's one of David's sons. But if you remember, Solomon is going to be the next king, not Absalom. Okay, so we've got David, we got Solomon, we got Absalom. Absalom decides, I want to be king and I want to be king right now. And so what he does is he does this whole scheme. What he's doing is he's going out in front of the city where everyone would pass by, and he's saying, oh, if I was king, I'd hear all your cases. I'd be a way better judge. So he's making David look bad. It's making it look like David wasn't doing his job, which wasn't true. And it's also now making Absalom look like, oh, I would care about you so much. And really, Absalom doesn't care about the people. He wants to be king. He cares about himself. And so everything he's doing is just to put on a good show, a good face. Gabe.
Wasn't David, wait, how did David die again?
Old age.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Max. Yep, he'll die of old age. Okay, let's learn about what reputation is. What people think of you, that's your reputation. And your words and actions are the thing that will affect your reputation. So if I am kind and I say nice things, people will probably think good of me. If I say kind things but do bad things, people will probably think badly of me. And if I do kind things and say bad things, people will probably think badly of me. Reputation is just, what I do and how other people view me. Probably haven't necessarily thought about it a ton, but you've thought about it a lot, I'm sure. You probably just don't realize you've thought about it a lot because you care what other people think about you, right? Yeah. Self-doubt sometimes too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that's a whole nother challenge too. Yeah, maybe we think we have a worse reputation than we do. Maybe we can get into that one later though. That's kind of another topic altogether. Let's read some of these passages. Gabe was that hand up because he wanted to take the first. Just take them all, Gabe. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What's your? No. Ask your question. You'll do it after. Ask your question first.
I gotta say, so what if we never had a reputation and people still did bad stuff? Do people still think bad of us?
So,
How would they think
but by nature, just how the world functions, you always have a reputation, either good or bad.
You know what I'm saying? What if no one knew what reputation was first?
That'd be impossible.
Yeah, it doesn't make it.
Okay, other questions? Gabe, maybe we'll talk after class and we'll understand this is an impossibility.
Well, no, it's because I just thought of that. What if there was no reputation?
Well, we'd still be breaking God's commandments, but it would be way different if we didn't think about what other people did. Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Sheila? How about you take 9, which is from Colossians, and Gabe will take the rest. Deal? Actually, I'll let you substitute in. Yeah, go ahead. You can do them all. Gabe, you can say thank you.
It's hurtful.
With perspective, a gossip betrays the confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Besides, they get into the habit of being
Idle.
and going about and idlers, but also busybodies who talk nonsense, saying things they ought not.
These are all examples of some ways that we might hurt someone's reputation. How could you hurt someone's reputation? Gabe, you're so eager. Go ahead.
So let's say my friend doesn't like me and he goes and goes, hey, look, this guy did something bad, so now I'm telling everybody about it, and it's a lie. It's like rumors.
Okay, so you could gossip, right? Okay, good. Lillian. Not good, sorry. It's a good example.
That's kind of the same thing like he said. If you don't like, if somebody didn't like somebody and they, for no reason, and they could go and say bad things about them that weren't true,
Mhm.
and it made everybody else think those things were true, and they'd stop hanging out with them, or they'd just avoid them at all times.
Yeah, that would be really hurtful for your reputation, lying about someone behind their back. We could think of a lot of different ones. Lying, sharing secrets, and gossip. Those are 3 main ones you can think about. Okay, very nice. Gossip, words that hurt someone's reputation, either false or true. So let's say Gabe came up and yes, Gabe, you want to make up the example?
Well, what if, it's not meant to be private, like, would it still be considered gossip or something, like someone literally just like nuked a country and then it's like supposed to be public and not a private thing between 2 people?
I know, but.
How about everyone write down this definition and then I'll answer that question. Write down the definition first and we'll talk about it. Okay, well, write down what gossip is and then I'll let you take a stab at it. Your finger isn't on your foot yet. So if Sela would have kicked Gabe in the head, which commandment would she have broken? Good. Okay, go ahead, Gabe. You wanted to answer Gabe's question.
How would they not go public if you could see it across the room?
What if it's in a what if it's a dead country that no one listens, but they just like nuclear?
You can still hear it, see it?
But what if it's like in the middle of Russia, just like some random countryside nuke?
There's no countryside.
But atom bomb nucleus.
That would show you.
So Gabe is bringing a good point. Let's bring it together because we don't have a ton of time left. It's hard to tell what gossip is and what it isn't, right? Because let's say something bad happened. My mother is doing just fine, but let's say my mom died, right? And I came to Gabe and I told him, hey, my mom just died. And I said, don't tell anyone right now, please. And then Gabe went and told a bunch of people. Even if he said, hey, Vicar's mom died, so please pray for him. That would be gossip because I told him specifically, don't share it with other people. But I also might say, hey, my mom died. Can you please pray for me and tell other people to pray for me? And then it would be a good thing if you went and told people. Sometimes if you don't know, it's best to stick with the side of being secretive about what people tell you. If someone nukes another country, yes. Or like if the weather's really bad, you just talk about the weather, right? That's okay. But if it's like, so this can happen. Something happens in the news with a celebrity, like, oh, did you hear what so and so did? That would be gossip. Yeah. And we don't want to gossip. And it's really easy to gossip because social media has a lot of gossip on it. And our brains like to gossip. Okay, Kaylin shared this. Like if I was sharing embarrassing secrets about my friend and that rumor spreads, then they're embarrassed and they would get made fun of. Exactly. Other thoughts, questions on gossip? All right, let's keep going then. We're gonna go past this one. Do 17 in here. Okay. What are some ways that we can improve someone's reputation? I'm struggling with speaking tonight. Aiden? Yeah, sharing good things about them. Awesome. I love it. Sela? Yeah, praise them, tell them about their good works. Any additional thoughts? Nothing else to say. Yeah, saying good things about them or defending them. I've been using you a lot tonight, Gabe. I'll use someone else. Let's say Ethan came up to me and he started saying something horrible about his sister. I could either agree with him and start to gossip with him, or I could defend his sister and say, no, Lillian's great. No, you should think about this way, or please don't gossip about your sister. You're hurting her reputation. I would want to defend. Okay. Why is it important to have a good reputation?
People are not like you. I mean, if you have a bad reputation, then no one's gonna really hang out with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, bad people.
Yeah, if you have a bad reputation, people won't hang out with you. And it's really hard to tell people about Jesus if you have a bad reputation, right? If people think, so if the rumor got started that I had stolen $1 million from a bank, it would be really difficult for me to tell people about Jesus, right? Even if it wasn't true at all. It would be really hard because you would just think, oh, you're a bank robber. Yes, Sheila.
Example. So like, say you're in a big city, like Atlanta or New York City, you are somewhere there, but everybody, like,
Setting things on fire here.
I know what I'm
but if everybody thinks we can make a question
Yeah.
talking bad.
Yeah, sometimes we do things that earn us a bad reputation if we sin,
like, say like you,
but sometimes people will lie
say like,
so you don't get bullied.
like somebody who hurt somebody very badly and then, like, even if like you got a deal and you were sorry about your crime, and then you went, but you knew God's word and you were going to spread God's word, I mean, people would still be like, they can trust you very well.
Yeah. We can repent, right?
Yeah, you can repent.
Like the Apostle Paul, right? He was killing Christians and then he started telling people. It still worked out. He told people about Jesus, right? Yeah, but it's not ideal. Yes, it is almost time for class to be done. I understand. So we had talked about why it's important. So we want to tell people, that's 20, we want to tell people about Jesus. Final thoughts. Take others' words and actions in the kindest possible way. I think that's super important. You don't want to make assumptions. Assuming is when you don't really know, but you go along with it. Like someone might say, oh, Aiden shoved his brother Aaron into a ditch, which would be very difficult because your brother Aaron is kind of a big guy. But if I just assumed that was true, maybe I'd start to think poorly about Aiden. But I don't have any evidence, so I shouldn't be assuming. I should assume that it was an accident if someone watched it.
She stole my ramen noodles.
Uh-huh.
So I just see when she stole my ramen noodles.
All right. On your own, you'll go through law is a mirror, Jesus' active, passive obedience. Lesson question, how do I protect what God has given to others? I won't steal from others. Instead, I will help them protect and improve what is theirs, including their reputation. Yep, like 2 more minutes. I just got to put up the homework. So stay online for that so that you're ready for next time. So 2 more minutes. You writing down the lesson question, Gabe? Go ahead. Let me see.
I have a question.
What?
I have a question.
Let's talk about it after class. All right. I'll put this one back up once I give you your homework. Here's the assignment for next time. 9th commandment, Proverbs 11:13, this page. Max, write down the assignment first, please. Class is over when I tell you it's over.
That's what teachers say.
Yeah, that's what you. I haven't heard a single bell ring. I know. Finger on nose when you've written down the assignment. So next time on Sunday when you come, 9th commandment, all the commandments up to the 9th commandment, this Proverbs passage and the worksheets. That's the next page. Fill that out as well, please. I'll check it at the beginning of class. Does anyone need me to go back to lesson question as well?
No, I don't.
Done the assignment first. Yes, Ela. Yep. Good. Okay, awesome. Let me go back.